Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, it is so great to have you. I'm Antoinette, a New Zealander living in Germany. And when I moved to Germany 10 years ago, I got myself into so many awkward situations that could have been completely avoided if I had just done a little bit of research. I really feel like I underestimated just how different German culture and New Zealand culture would be. There are just so many little cultural subtleties and rules in Germany that you simply just do not know about unless somebody tells you, or unless you have learned the hard way and made these mistakes in Germany. And so I am going to be that person that helps you out, and I am going to tell you the things that you shouldn't do in Germany, mistakes that tourists make when they first come to Germany, and a lot of these mistakes I have made, so don't worry. So when you first come to Germany, whatever your situation is, there's a high chance that you are probably going to be using some form of public transport, and I highly recommend public transport in Germany. It is fantastic, especially in the big cities. And a mistake that a lot of tourists make in Germany is not validating their ticket, their train ticket, their bus ticket, their tram ticket, whatever. So it's not actually enough just to have paid for a ticket unless you validate it. You need to validate that ticket every single time for it to be active. For example, there'll be like a little booth and you have to just like put your ticket into a little slot and it validates your ticket. It'll show the time and the date, and so then you're good to go. But I know a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that because they've bought a ticket then it's automatically validated, but that's not the case, and if you get caught you can get a fine. So if you buy a weekly ticket, a monthly, a yearly ticket, then you do not have to validate it every time, but if you buy a single ticket then you have to validate it. I definitely got in trouble when I first came to Germany because I did not understand the concept of validating your ticket. I was on a tram and a tram inspector who was dressed in regular clothing came up to me and asked to see my ticket, and I thought I had done nothing wrong because I had a ticket, showed them the ticket, it hadn't been validated, and they said that I would be getting a fine, and I just pulled this like big sob story because I genuinely didn't know, and I actually got off. But I don't think this would happen to everybody. I think I just had a really nice tram inspector. I really don't think that most tram inspectors would let you off. Another mistake that many tourists make when they first come to Germany, including myself, I did make this mistake, and that is presuming that you can pay everything with your card, like your debit card or your credit card. That is not the case in Germany. In Germany, cash is king, and you basically pay everything with cash. So you always have to carry around cash in your wallet. In New Zealand, we pay for everything on our card, on our EFTPOS card, which is like a debit card, or our credit cards. We can pay for something that costs $1 on our card and nobody thinks anything of it. It's 100% normal. But in Germany, you would never pay for anything that costs maybe under 10 euros with a card. Cash is king. Cash is used for everything in Germany. If you're eating at a restaurant in Germany, after you finish your meal, the waiter or the waitress will come up to you and you have to pay for your meal, and they expect you to pay with cash. You know, they're not lugging around a big debit machine for you to pay, or like a credit card machine. They expect you to pay with cash. And I guess you could maybe go up to the till and pay with your card, but it's not really something that is done in Germany. So it's best just to always have cash on you. Another mistake that a lot of tourists make in Germany, including myself, I have most definitely been guilty of making this mistake, and that is ordering water at a restaurant and expecting to receive tap water, which is free. And in Germany, tap water is not a thing. If you order water, you will most likely, like 99% of the time, 99.9% of the time, receive a bottle of bubbly water, and it won't be still water like regular water, it will be bubbly water, and you're going to have to pay for that, and it will cost the same as maybe a cola or an orange juice or whatever other drink that you order. And so so a lot of tourists, they think they can get away with not paying for their drinks and drinking tap water. You just can't do that in Germany. It is not considered socially acceptable to order tap water, and if you order water, expect to get a bottle of water, which you definitely will have to pay for. Okay, so another mistake that many tourists make in Germany when they first come is being super loud in restaurants or on buses and public places. So when they are having a conversation and the whole restaurant can hear what they are saying, and you know, people have come to the restaurant restaurant to have like a nice evening out, and then there is somebody sitting next to them and you can just hear their complete conversation, and it's really annoying and it is really just distracting. And Germans, they hate this. This is definitely not part of German culture. Germans are always like really respectful of other people's privacy, and so if they're having a conversation in a public place, they have the conversation like quietly. And so I don't know, I have really noticed a lot of Americans do this. Nothing against Americans, because I have a lot of American friends who I just love and would never do this. So if you want to be respectful to the locals and just have a little bit of respect for German culture, just kind of tone down your voice a little bit. You don't have to whisper, but don't like scream and just speak super loudly, and you know, not everybody has to know your life story. Okay, another mistake that many tourists make in Germany is presuming that shops are open on a Sunday. They are not. The majority of shops in Germany are closed on a Sunday, and this is part of German tradition. For generations in Germany, Sunday has been a quiet family day, and no supermarkets are open, no shops are open except for restaurants and some cafes, but like for the most part nothing really goes on a Sunday in Germany. It's meant for like winding down, spending time with loved ones, and just sort of taking it easy and relaxing. And so a lot of tourists, they don't know this, and I did not know this when I first came to Germany, that Sunday was a quiet day, everything was closed. It's really important in Germany, if you need to do your supermarket shopping, to do it before 8 p.m. on a Saturday, because on Sunday there is no chance of you getting any food from the supermarket. This can definitely be a problem when there is a public holiday on the Monday, because this is something that happens quite regularly in Germany. A public holiday will fall on a Monday, and so on public holidays everything is closed also, and so you will have Sunday and Monday closed, and then you will not be able to go shopping until the Tuesday. And so that's a mistake that I have made before, and I still sometimes make that mistake. I'll like forget that there's a public holiday on the Monday, and you know, it's like 2 days without supermarket shopping. It's okay if you've prepared for it, but if you're not prepared and you really like have an empty fridge, or you know, you just literally do not have any food, then you know, that's a big bummer. That sucks. So make sure you are always prepared for shops being closed on a Sunday. If there's a public holiday, as I mentioned, for 2 days you have to go without shopping, and so you just have to prepare yourself. It's not a big deal, it just takes a little bit of getting used to, but that's how it works in Germany. That's how it is. It's been like this forever, and it's probably not going to change anytime soon. Oh, another thing about Sundays is that you have to be nice and quiet and calm on a Sunday. You are not allowed to mow lawns, which you probably wouldn't be doing if you were a tourist in Germany, but you can't do anything super loud. You're not even meant to do washing on a Sunday in Germany. So like the sound of the washing machine could be annoying to your neighbors, and so it even goes that far. You really shouldn't be doing that. I have been guilty of doing washing on a Sunday, but just anything that's going to be annoying for your neighbors and people around you, you just should not do that. And so Germany on Sunday is a quiet, peaceful day. I had no idea about this when I first came to Germany. Another mistake you should never ever make when you're in Germany is littering. You should never drop anything that isn't biodegradable on the ground. Never in Germany. You will be told off like you have never been told off in your life. Germans love to keep their country nice and clean and neat and orderly. Even something biodegradable like an apple core, you really shouldn't be dropping that on the ground. But if a German happens to catch you dropping something like some plastic on the ground, you will be in trouble, because that is no, don't do that in Germany. Okay, so another mistake you should never make as a tourist in Germany, and I really don't like the fact that I have to bring this up, but unfortunately this is something that a lot of tourists do, and it's something that is really not acceptable in Germany, and that is when people make jokes about Germany's past. And you know, I don't have to say anymore, you guys know what I'm talking about. You know, this may be meant as fun and games, but for a German it's something pretty serious, and it's very offensive for somebody to bring up events of the past, events that Germans are not proud of. I know a lot of Germans, especially the younger generation, they do not want to be haunted by their past. This is something that they haven't done. They have no control over what happened, and that is not something that represents them. And it's a really sensitive topic, obviously, and I think it's really disrespectful to bring up anything like that, even if it's as a joke, because it isn't funny. So stay away from any jokes about Germany's past, because they will not be well received in Germany, I can tell you that. Okay guys, last but not least, another mistake that a lot of tourists make in Germany is presuming that the Autobahn in Germany has absolutely no speed limit. And I know that a lot of tourists come to Germany and they're so excited to drive on the Autobahn and be like a racing car driver and drive with like no speed limit. It's so exhilarating and exciting for a lot of people to be able to do that. Some parts of the Autobahn don't have a speed limit, that is right, but there are sections of the Autobahn where you really have to watch out because there actually is a speed limit. And so I have never personally driven in Germany, but my husband drives regularly on the Autobahn, and I remember him telling me from the get-go that you need to be super careful on the Autobahn and really concentrate, because you never know when there is going to be a section of the Autobahn that has a speed limit, and it can really catch you out and you definitely will get a fine. So that's just something to be aware of. There's definitely speed limits on the Autobahn, and you need to be super careful and concentrate at all times while driving on the Autobahn. So anyway guys, I have come to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a little bit from it. This video is actually aimed, as I mentioned, for expats, for people visiting Germany for the first time. So if you're German and you're watching this, you'll know all of this stuff, but this is, you know, intended for somebody who knows nothing about Germany, nothing about German culture, and I hope this has kind of helped you out a little bit. So if you are an expat in Germany, if you have visited Germany as a tourist, I would love to hear all of your funny, embarrassing mistakes that you made when you first came to Germany. If you think I have left anything really important off this list, feel free to share it in my comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. I would love you to consider subscribing to my channel. Feel free to connect with me on Instagram, and I will see you again really soon. Bye!